Morning everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Just a little update on what's been happening on the channel this last week or so. Nothing major. As some of you may have noticed, I've decided to take a little break from my usual posting schedule, and today I've gone back to my old school ways of how the channel started, and I'm doing an audio blog of a walk. I'll probably do a little catch up like this each Friday until I know exactly where I'm going with the channel and I've got more time and inclination to deal with it. But it is glorious. It's the end of May. We're just going into that. Papers have been going mad for the late spring heat wave. It was 23 when we set off. Clear blue skies. Well, little bits of white wispy cloud. It's going to be about 28 before the end of the day. There's the gentlest of breezes, and it's a walk I've done many times with my dog. Started in COVID when I couldn't go far from home. So one, there was no point videoing it as I've done it dozens of times before. And two, as I say at the moment, can't really be bothered making videos. Walking through fields of, is it barley? I think it's the one with the fine, fine grass coming out of the top of it. Or is it wheat? I don't really know. Trees are all in full bloom. Spring is sort of slowly giving way to summer, I think. The ground's not too bad because we have had a bit of rain. I'm just trying to find a path across the field at the moment. Where the actual footpath goes, the farmer seems to ignore it when he plants his seeds. And if it's not growing too much, I'll try and just stick a stick as close as I can to the footpath, but everything's about 3 foot high now, so I think there's some tractor tracks go down and then across and sort of brings me to the other side of the field roughly where the footpath continues. So just for ease, I'm taking a detour through this field, but not actually walking on any crops. Skylarks are up, singing their heads off. Yeah, the footpath people seem to have walked the foot. I don't think it's the footpath. I think they've done what I've done. I think it's some tractor tracks, but it takes us where we want to go. So yeah, what's happened with the channel? Not a lot really. I don't react well to a lot of negativity in my life, and there's been a lot really, not least what's happening in the world, which often affects me if I read the news or watch the news. It's a very busy time at my workplace at the moment, so I think all this just sort of got me down a little bit last week. Now I have a problem where I have a self-destruct. So I've been semi-retired since I was 50, although I've probably worked full-time for a lot of that time. And I've tried all kinds of different creative things. I did a WordPress blog. I had thousands of subscribers. When Twitter was all right, and a good medium, to be honest, I had over 20,000 subscribers. I wrote a couple of books that I self-published, but every time I start to get anywhere, I destroy things. Not literally, but I delete my work, delete my blog. I've deleted thousands and thousands of photographs. Probably 10,000 photographs over the years. Thrown them in the bin, deleted them. at this time with YouTube, I said it wasn't going to happen. Anyway, I got to feeling that way last week. So I've started a blog again. So I'm actually getting organised. So everything I've done for the last 5 or 6 years, writing-wise, photography-wise, video-wise, audio recording-wise, is either on my blog or on the YouTube. But I was feeling last weekend when I came home from work, I thought the best thing to do is probably to take a break. So to all that, YouTube's been getting me down as well, because the more successful you get, it somehow gets under your skin and it sends you messages and it tells you you could be earning money and you could be doing this and you could be doing that, and you've just got to do all these different things, and it's just a rat race, and that's not why I do any of it. So YouTube was getting me down. The more I did, the less subscribers I had. The more I did, the less views I had. And in the end, I thought, stuff it. So I'm not doing this for Google's benefit. I'm not doing it for YouTube's benefit. I'm not going to make enough money to go on a round the world cruise. So why are you even bothering? So that was that. So I'm still here. The channel's still here. We've reached the other side of the field nicely without damaging any crops. Had a nice walk along all the tractor tracks zigzagging across the field, and we've got to the gate at a little paddock. I was just talking about it on my blog. It's about a quarter of a mile long, about 70 yards wide. It's on a steep slope going down to a small river, and it's only ever been a pasture. And I think this is because it's got an ancient earthwork running through it, a 5,000-year-old sort of Bronze Age earthwork, and so I think because of that it's always been left a pasture. So, and it's very pleasant in there. So it's surrounded by a hedge. There's a ramshackle gate at this side that we go through, and looking around, the hill goes off to my left with the crops going up, and then down to the right is the river valley and the river Cock in the bottom. Carly, we're going this way. So yeah, it was a combination of everything really. A busy work schedule that I'm not sure I really need anymore. And YouTube doing my head in, promising the earth and giving nothing to the vast majority of people who are on YouTube. And then all the big YouTubers are mumping on because they're losing views too, but they're still getting the checks for £7,000 a month, aren't they, or whatever. So yeah, that's it. I'm taking a break. I'll maybe, I think, try and do an update each week, maybe like this, as to what's happening. But yeah, this is glorious, this field. If I had the money, people have a list of things they would do. If I had the money, I would buy this field. No shadow of a doubt. If it was for sale, I'd have the fence repaired around the edge. I'd have the hedgerow repaired where it needed it. I'd rent it out as I think I'd just make it into a meadow. That'd be my dream. Plant a few trees and have it as a meadow. It would be glorious. So yeah, if you want to help get me to 1 million subscribers, get me £100,000 off YouTube. I'll spend it wisely. I'll buy a field with it. So yeah, we're walking along the top edge. There's the hedgerow just on the right. There is 2 oak trees, one at each end. And then there's the grass slope going down. Used to have horses in it, but the 3 horses, I think they were a family. But then one year they just disappeared, and it's been left as pasture since. And I never want to leave this field when I'm in it. It really is nice. Yeah, that's it for now. Any more highlights on the walk? Nothing else much is happening. Dog's rolling on her back. She's happy. And what you can hear the skylarks? You can no doubt hear the M1 motorway. It's about a quarter of a mile, half a mile away. And it's not quite as idyllic as you think when you sit down. I've just sat down for 5 minutes in the grass and you end up surrounded by a swarm of flies. So let's press on. Come on, dog. Dropping down now to the river, and there's primulas and that little blue flower. I can never remember the name of it. It's like a forget-me-not. And the riverbank here is lined with willow. I once saw an otter here, and we're only a couple of miles from Leeds. I have to put the dog on a lead here. Some water about 100 yards away, and she'd be off if I let her. But she's really good. She's really friendly, but she has a bad habit of jumping up, and I do worry about meeting hikers or something and then jumping up at one of them. So if I can't see where the footpath goes, I just put her on a lead. Come on. This is idyllic in the trees dropping down now to the riverbank. It's the dappled sunlight, and admittedly a lot of nettles and that Himalayan balsam, but it's not too overgrown at the moment. Noticeably cooler than out in the field. Like all Labradors, she can't wait to get in the water. There's a little bridge here, it's falling down. I reported it last week. I don't normally report things, I'm not a real complainer about stuff, but I think it's quite dangerous, so I reported it to North Yorkshire Council. They said they'd look at it, prioritise it, and if they could, they'd get round to it. So I have to go very carefully over it because it's got no sides on it, and it's quite a drop. Come here now. So we're at the other side, and the path just continues through some woods. We start and finish today's walk on a service road at the side of the A1. It's actually called Kingfisher Lane, and it's very pleasant to say that it's just at the side of a busy motorway. It's nice. But last week when I was walking up it, I counted 30 separate lots of fly tipping, tyres, bricks. So I also reported that. This time that's Leeds Council. So yeah, so I've reported that as well. I know they're busy, but I don't know, society seems to be crumbling in so many ways. Anyway, today it was 31 because I've never noticed it before. There used to be orchids growing along the side of the lane. I'm sure they'll still come through in places, but they'll struggle in other places because it's just covered in 3 foot of garden waste or bricks. Anyway, I was looking over the fence to see if there was any sign of the orchids, and I saw about 50 tyres that had been dumped. So I might, which apart from anything else, I mean, all this is a real health and safety because it's at the side of a 6-lane motorway, and if any of that tyres, garden waste, anything like that caught fire, it'd be a real hazard for the motorway. Anyway, this side of the river's different from the other. The steep bank that's at the other's gone, and there's a broad floodplain about 100 yards wide that does flood. The river's quite deep in a channel. It's usually about 1 foot, 2 foot deep. But say the channel's about 6 or 7 feet. Sometimes it floods entirely, comes over the bank and floods all these fields. It starts in Leeds. It's the Cockbeck there. And by the time it gets here, it's a small river. And it joins the River Wharfe about 3 or 4 miles to the east. Well, that's it, guys. It was just a quick update. I'm just on the other bank now. It's a more gradual uphill climb to the path. Takes me back down to the lane and home before it gets too warm. It's lovely to be out in the sun. Might take me a week or two to get used to it again. And as I say, let's hope my more relaxed approach to YouTube, social media. I was updating this blog, you see, as well, which has taken months and months. But now I've got everything on it. All my photos, all my writing. I can actually do some writing when I get up on the morning. And I find that so relaxing. Complete opposite of making YouTube content and audio content. Although audio content's quite relaxing too. But yeah, I'll try and update you every week. There might be odd videos appearing on the channel. But until then, I'll say cheerio, take care, and I'll speak to you quite soon.